Nintendo is cooked. Finally, players and fans have had enough. Pokemon Legends ZA is so AI slob garbage, so disgusting in every way possible that everyone is just calling it quits. There's literally millions of people currently on Twitter being absolutely furious, angry, and so much more. And you know what? It's all justified. Have you seen any of those clips? I mean, it's abysmal. The quality of this game is not low, it's non-existential. It is insane. And Pokemon has been doing stupid things for a long time, okay? Granted, being a Pal World ripoff is what it is. Don't sue me, Nintendo. You know, jokes are jokes, wink wink. Anyway, remember remember the last time Pokemon did something and it was modernizing Pokemon Go and making the avatars just so much more woke? Plump bodies? No, that doesn't exist. Good looking avatars? No, that's evil. Man, this is almost that but worse because people actually cared this time because the game's not dead. It is hilariously insane and I love every second of it.
Pokemon is in an absolute state of disaster right now. There are millions of gamers on social media roasting Z to A. There are even journalists who are now turning against it, and it does not look like a positive outcome for fans. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, ever since Z to A released a couple of days ago, we've all been talking about how mediocre this game really is. And hey, if you are loving it and you are enjoying it, that's fantastic. I hope.
No, let's stop this, okay? We did this with Diablo 4, okay? We were nice to the people who said this game was good, even though it was absolute garbage dumpster fire, soaked in kerosene and then lit up with jet fuel. And that got us nowhere. It doesn't get us, okay? If you're enjoying this absolute slop, then something's probably wrong with you because a normal person is not going to enjoy something this atrociously bad.
You get your money's worth. I hope that it is as good as you expected it to be, but there are a lot of people who are just very disappointed with the low level of quality. It seems that they didn't put a lot of effort into this title, and that is why the user scores are so bad. But now we also have the access media turning against this. One thing that was really bizarre about this game with the scores was the fact that the critics were loving it, and while it's still
Nothing strange about that, in my opinion. Whenever a big company release game, you know it's a certified IGN 7 out of 10. Oh yes, and well, this is not surprising. Do you think these companies are gonna risk not getting the next release? Of course not. They're gonna say whatever it takes to get that.
sitting at generally favorable with an 80, the user scores have also gone up a tad, but it's at generally unfavorable. There are a lot of critics who are saying it's pretty good, but I don't trust the critics, and even though some of them are writing articles saying this is pretty disappointing, the user scores are really what describe this game the best. There are a lot.
There's a lot of super Pokemon fanboys. That's the user score right now. There's a lot of 10s, as we all know. And that's just from the super Pokemon fanboys who will buy a half-eaten Pokemon sticker for a premium price if Nintendo suddenly releases it. Because everything Pokemon is magical, crazy, and the best thing ever. Fans like this still exist, and Nintendo is one of those companies that actually have an army of people who are getting out their katanas and being like, "Don't touch my billion-dollar company!" And there's a lot of them still left.
Of people giving it 10s who are trying to like reverse review bomb it, saying I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan and this game doesn't deserve backlash. But then there are people on the other side.
I have been a fan of X forever, so it cannot be bad. It's probably the most dumbest consumer thing I have ever heard.
Of the coin saying, yeah, it's just awful. Here's a 3. I've been playing Pokemon games since Yellow in 1998. The positive reviews for this game seem to come mainly from fans who are easily satisfied with an overpriced and subpar product. I personally have been
Well, if you're a Nintendo fan in general at this point, if you are not fine with overpriced garbage, then you're probably not a Nintendo fan because everything they have at this point is just overpriced.
streaming this, right? Because it's part of my job and I have been so disappointed with it. I also have been playing Pokemon since, I first started playing video games, and it's so sad to see the low level of quality. And I get it, right? People love Pokemon, so they line up to purchase the new game, figuring it's going to be better than the last. But the past few have been so terrible. And from what we heard, they only needed to sell about 200,000 units in order to break even, meaning they did.
Meaning that game was dirt cheap to make. 200,000 units. Do you actually know how little money that is? How much is this game? 50? I don't actually know, but 200,000. The budget for this game means it was probably less than 4 million to make. Probably less than 4 million. That is insane. That is pure AI.
Didn't have a big budget for this game, which some games with low budgets are phenomenal. Look at something like Expedition 33, look at something like Silksong, but with a title like this, it just means that they put the least amount of effort into it possible. The game looks like it's constantly going to render and then it never does. It looks like it's got graphics from, I don't know, 20 years ago on mobile. You would think that they would have really thought out the way that the combat system works, and like, oh, you have this action system, but maybe the cooldowns are longer if your Pokemon speed stat is lower, and it's higher if the speed stat is higher, and it doesn't work out the way you would expect. And it just seems that a lot of these small details that could have made the game significantly better are glaringly missing. But obviously, I'm not the only person to think that this game is really bad, as millions of gamers are on social media saying it's one of the most disappointing games they've ever played. Game looks horrible. A multi-billion-dollar company being unable to make a good game is laughable. Play Digimon Time Stranger. Instead, please do not pay money for this ripoff. This game is bad, really bad. Not only the graphics, even the gameplay and the story isn't there. And with the story, the major problem I have is not even just the bare bones basic story, but the dialogue in this game and what they thought would be acceptable. Now, I think this is a result of AI. I do not think that somebody actually wrote these and put these in. It wouldn't
Yeah, we saw this yesterday.
shock me given how terrible localizers are in the industry. But here's just a few lines. Maybe have your partner Pokemon draw it away, then yeet the package inside while it's distracted. We've got, I'm sick and tired of this life. I just want to smell Pokemon.
Classic.
If I'm upset, giving my partner's
I mean, the least unhinged Pokemon fan.
Pokeball a little squeeze helps. If you're trying to use the argument that this is a game for children and that's why a lot of these systems are really dumbed down and bare bones, why is this dialogue acceptable for children to consume? It's not even like
The Pokemon fanbase is not even children at this point. It's actually like 30, 40-year-olds. Children, like the new Pokemon suck. You have literally ice cream cones and shit. That's super lame and gay. No one wants that. The new era of Pokemon fans exists because of the old stuff, not the new stuff.
SpongeBob humor, where it's clearly aimed at adults and only adults would get these references. It's just really weird and creepy dialogue. But now we also have the Access Media who is changing their tune on this game. Now, again, a lot of them did give it really good scores, but I thought this was very.
The funny part about Access Media, by the way, is we saw this tremendously well with Dragon Age Belgod. If you don't remember, this is how it went. At the start, it was a certified banger. Return to form. That's right. The classic yet fantastic reporter slop. And then after a month and a half, Like, everyone was starting to publish articles like Dragon Age the Veil God, actually bad. Yes, IGN, after calling it a brilliant piece of modern day fucking art in the return to form, after a month literally called it shit. It is the most hilarious thing ever.
Fascinating. This is from Screen Rant saying Z to A isn't bad, but it's everything wrong with modern Pokemon. And funny enough, they actually changed this headline because originally it says that it ruined the franchise. So they're taking a step back, but they aren't changing the contents of the article itself.
I mean, the article itself doesn't matter, the headline is all that matters.
It says the user score sits at a 4.5 out of 10, especially considering how unimpressive each trailer made the game seem. Naturally, we always anticipated that there might have been surprises lying in wait and that Game Freak could pull it out of the bag. And yes, I'm not all that convinced that's what happened. Sure, Z to A's glowing reviews aren't lying, but I strongly believe we're overlooking major problems that threaten the overall quality of the series. It says it is average at best. It's a mediocre game that we're giving too much credit to, and I like the combat. I think that it is fun enough. I don't like the level design and the world building. I don't like the story. I don't like the characters.
That's a lot of dislikes, mommy.
I really don't like a lot about this game. Also, even with the wild zones and battle zones, why is it just a ginormous red and green wall around the areas? Why is it not, oh, when you're walking through the city, maybe one of your Pokemon is sniffing around and creeping through some of these alleyways and these back ways, and then suddenly a massive area opens up and it goes ding, 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 ding at the top of your screen. It says you have discovered Wild Zone 22, and then you get to see what's in there. Like, actually add these open world elements and
I mean, actually having a game was not part of the plan for Nintendo.
stop holding everyone's hands so fucking much. Give us a little bit of this open world exploration that you were boasting about. Pokemon Legends Z to A is an exceptionally average game that really hurts. It isn't just that its bland, uninspired visuals lack character and charm and style of older Pokemon titles, nor is it the lifeless environments that feature a smattering of motionless NPCs, shops lacking interiors, and copy and pasted buildings with JPEG windows. It isn't even the lack of new Pokemon or the game's fixation on Mega Evolutions, which aren't even a new mechanic. It's the fact that it's one of its central innovations is watered down imitation of Xenoblade Chronicles combat. It is that Pokemon Legends Z to A took no risks with its settings, offering yet another disappointing narrative packed with endless, unskippable tutorials. And yeah, this is a major problem. The first 4 hours of the game is tutorials, which really bothers
4 hours? That is insane. I understand these companies are treating gamers like some second-hand citizens, but damn, 4 hours of tutorials. That is insane.
me that games do. Even amazing titles like Hogwarts Legacy do that, and I hate it. I just want
By the way, I'll like the video right now and hype it up on a mobile device. It takes less than a second, and thank you for everyone who does it. I appreciate it.
to be able to jump into the game. If I need a tutorial, sure, offer it to me. Otherwise, don't force it upon us. It says that Pokemon Legends Z to A has tarnished the Legends series, and that Arceus definitely suffered a lot of the same issues that plagued Z to A, but it at least took risks. Its open area setting paved the way for Scarlet and Violet while also introducing the idea of reactive Pokemon in the wild that can actively hunt down the player. Its historical setting was reminiscent of more daring Pokemon spin-off titles like Conquest, offering an entire
I mean, what is in the past doesn't honestly even matter at this point because I mean this is just cooked, okay? The Pokemon franchise and everything Nintendo does in general is just really nice. It's just really bad, not nice. 10 out of 10. That was Mommy Very Dark. Bye.